He never got to see his son grow up, but the message he left behind, just a few lines on an old cassette tape, would change everything years later. Not just his son's choices, but who he became. Here's a story about how love outlives even the man who gave it. Ethan was 9 when his father died, too young to understand the word loss, but old enough to feel the silence it left behind. His father, Daniel, was the kind of man who fixed things: broken clocks, squeaky doors, bad moods. He was steady, the sort of presence that made the world make sense. And then, one rainy night, he was gone. A car accident on a road Ethan never drove on again. After that, Ethan's home became quieter. His mother did her best, holding 2 jobs, wearing a tired smile. But Ethan could tell. Something inside her had cracked too. By 17, he'd stopped talking about his father altogether. By 20, he'd stopped believing he had anything in common with him. Ethan was lost, drifting through part-time jobs, half-finished degrees, relationships that ended before they began. Every choice he made came from the same place, a quiet fear of never being enough. Then, one winter afternoon, as his mother was packing to move into a smaller apartment, she found an old cardboard box, dusty, water-stained, tucked behind the bookshelf. Inside were photos, a baseball glove, and a small cassette labeled in neat handwriting. For Ethan. When you're ready, Ethan laughed softly. Cassettes, Mom? Who even has a player anymore? But his mother smiled, a small, sad smile, and pulled out an old recorder she'd kept for years. Maybe you should listen, she said. He almost didn't. But that night, alone in his apartment, curiosity got the better of him. The tape clicked. Static. And then, his father's voice. Hey, buddy. A pause, a shaky breath. If you're hearing this, I guess I'm not around anymore. Ethan froze. It was the same voice he'd tried so hard to remember, now echoing through his tiny living room. I don't know how old you are now. Maybe a kid, maybe a man. I wanted to tell you a few things before life gets too loud. His father chuckled, that soft, familiar sound that made Ethan's chest tighten. You're going to fail. More than once. You'll break things you didn't mean to, lose people you thought would stay, and you'll think it's your fault. But it's not. It's just life asking you who you want to be. Ethan leaned forward, elbows on his knees. His throat burned. Don't run from hard days, son. They're not punishments. They're invitations. You fix what you can. You forgive what you can't. And you keep going. The voice grew softer. There's one more thing. When you feel lost, and you will, go back to where you started, not the place, the feeling. Remember how it felt to be curious, kind, and unafraid. That's the real you, Static. Then silence. Ethan sat there, tears tracing the edges of his jaw, as if someone had opened a door he didn't know was still locked. For the first time in years, he didn't feel angry at the world, or at himself. He just felt seen. That night, he didn't scroll through social media. He didn't pour another drink. He sat at his desk and wrote a letter, not to anyone, but to himself. He wrote about the man he wanted to become, the kind of father he wished to be one day, the kind of peace he wanted to make with his past. The next morning, he signed up for a course he'd dropped out of years ago. And this time, he finished it. Years passed. Ethan built a life, not a perfect one, but an honest one. He became a teacher, mentoring kids who reminded him of himself. Unsure, quiet, afraid to fail. And every time one of them came to him saying, "I messed up," he'd smile and say, "Good." That means you're trying. He never played that cassette again. He didn't need to. The message wasn't on the tape anymore. It was in him, in the way he lived, the way he listened, the way he never gave up on anyone, especially himself. And sometimes, on quiet evenings, when the city outside was asleep, he'd whisper a simple thank you, not to the sky, but to the voice that had waited patiently for him to be ready. In the end, his father didn't just leave him a message, he left him a map back to himself.